33-year-old Karen Reid was a respected geophysicist who lived and worked in Woking, Surrey. She had a degree in geology and a master's in IT. She was popular at work, had a lot of friends, and an active social life. Karen was the eldest of 3 children, and her sister had recently moved in with her at her home in Woking. On Saturday, the 30th of April 1994, Karen spent the morning running errands before heading to work.
She finished work at about 6 o'clock that evening, and she was asked if she wanted to lift home by one of her colleagues, but Karen decided to walk home that night, probably arriving home around 8, 8:30. She'd arranged for one of her girlfriends to come round to enjoy the evening and have a bottle of wine. Karen's sister worked nights, so she wasn't at the house that evening. Her friend arrived at about 20 to 9 with a bottle of wine that she grabbed on her way over. They were just catching up, they were chatting, they were good girlfriends, probably putting the world to rights like we've all done over a drink.
At around 9 p.m, there was a knock at the door.
Karen could see what appeared to be a pizza delivery man. So Karen's just called back over her shoulder to her friend and asked whether she'd ordered a pizza. She hadn't. Karen answered the door to find a male standing on her doorstep with a pizza delivery box in his hands.
He asked Karen to confirm her address, which she did.
Her friend then heard a series of loud bangs.
The man shot Karen 5 times at close range and ran from the scene.
There's no reason for anyone to do this to Karen whatsoever. She was an innocent woman, she was a young professional woman, and on that night someone's turned up at Karen's house. They merely confirmed the address and at that point shot Karen on her doorstep.
A major manhunt was launched to find her killer, and police quickly identified some important clues linked to an earlier incident.
2 weeks before Karen's murder, on the 15th of April, police noticed a red Cavalier driving around the Barnsbury estate that looked out of place, so they tried to stop the car. There was a pursuit before the driver ran from the car, leaving in situ. Within the car, they found a Del C luggage bag. In that bag appeared to be an assassination kit. There was a Hungarian 9mm pistol with a silencer attached to it, a sheathed commando knife, a map of the local area, including the Barnsbury estate where Karen lived, and some provisions. So it would appear, in our mind, that that was probably a first attempt to carry out an assassination at Karen's address.
The investigation into Karen's murder was one of the most exhaustive in the history of Surrey police. At the time, officers followed nearly 3,000 individual lines of inquiry and took more than 1,700 statements. But the clues were not enough to find her killer. And 30 years on, Karen's family are still looking for justice.
We're hopeful that people who perhaps know what happened on that evening, know who orchestrated the murder of Karen, will now come forward. No murder inquiry is ever forgotten. We will never give up trying to find Karen's killer, for the benefit of her